Hugh, we don't have to throw any Phillies out the window today. In fact, we like the Phillies right now because of what they did last night. Hugh, we were on yesterday after we got the word over the weekend about Zack Wheeler and what was going to happen. And we found out yesterday he had a procedure to remove the clot in his arm, and now it's about healing, and we'll find out when he could pick up a baseball again. But I don't think anyone still believes it's going to be anytime soon. So the Phillies had to go out there last night, Hugh, with the specter of their guy, their ace, just underwent a pretty serious procedure in his arm to get a blood clot out. You know what they did? They went out there and scored 12 runs, and they blasted a really good pitcher in Logan Gilbert. Bryce Harper, I haven't seen Bryce Harper, Hugh, have home runs like that. I mean, he tattooed 2 baseballs. I haven't seen him hit a ball that hard and that far in, I would say, over a year. And then he did it twice in a game. Trey stays hot. Real Muto with a home run. 12 runs last night. They had 21 hits. It's the first time since 2009 they had that many hits at Citizens Bank Park. Hugh, 11 runs on Sunday after the Wheeler news on Saturday. 12 runs yesterday. How are we feeling this morning, Hugh Douglas, as the Phillies offense has awoken here?
I think that they listened to the show.
Okay, good.
I think that there was a lot of people a little bit upset and not believing that these guys can get it done.
Non-believers out
there. Yeah, what you got, like 30-some games left, like 38, 39, something like that? It's just that quick,
I think
man.
we're at 37 games left.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, close enough.
You got to keep it going. I think that one night against a good team is a good start, but we've seen this team at its worst. We've seen this team when the bats go cold. You have to figure out a way to keep it going. I think that's the biggest thing.
Well, they do. And they're at a point now where the reality is, and Ranger pitched well last night, which is really important because Ranger Suarez had struggled for a while, but he pitched well last night against a pretty good Mariners lineup that has
6 2/3.
Yeah, and that lineup has pop. I mean, they have Suarez, they have Cal Raleigh, they have real pop in the middle of that order, but Ranger pitched well last night. But the story was the offense. They scored 12 runs last night. Bryce Harper tattooed the baseball. Like, that reminded me of October Bryce Harper. That was the kind of power we saw last night from him. And I know you said it's a start, and you're right, and they have to continue to do this. But here's where I'm at in 215-592-9494. Hugh, I do think the Phillies offense is capable of carrying this team to a World Series. And they're going to have to now. As much as we want all these pitchers to step up, and we hope Ranger pitches like he did last night every start, the reality is their pitching staff isn't as good today as it was 3 days ago. And there's nothing they can do to make it as good. They can't acquire anyone. They're going to have to mix and match to get through it. But it's a huge blow to lose Zack Wheeler. No one can replace that on this team. They don't have anyone capable. But you know what they do have? They have bats capable of hitting. We know that. I mean, Bryce Harper's one of the best players in baseball. Now he's up to 21 home runs in a year where I think I said 5 weeks ago there's no way he gets to 30. He probably still doesn't, but he's only 9 away. I mean, he could get to 30. We know Schwarber's going to get to about 50. Trey Turner finally hit his first home run of the season at home last night, which is just bizarre because he's had a good year overall, but none at home. I mean, they've got bats here that could get red hot and carry them. And I went back and looked because I know there's a feeling of this offense. It's not what it used to be. It's not that good. It's not great. It's inconsistent, all those kind of words. So in 2022, I would say for the most part, the Phillies offense carried them to where they got to in the World Series. Now, we know they ran out of gas at the end of the World Series, but the offense was red hot in the month of October. They scored. They hit for power, especially in that Padres series. In 2022, the team that got to the World Series, here's where they ranked in runs and slugging percentage. 7th in baseball in runs, 8th in slugging percentage in 2022. That was the year they got to the World Series. This year, they rank 9th and 9th. It's pretty darn close. I mean, their offense, in terms of where they rank across the rest of the league in slugging percentage and in runs, it's pretty close to where they were 3 years ago, where their offense carried them. I know it doesn't feel like that sometimes, but Hugh, I think when you have to even it out, right? Like, they're not as good as they are last night. They're not going to score 12 runs a game. They're also not as bad as they are when they get shut out, right? It evens out over a long period of time.
Yeah.
And they have played now, let's do the quick math on this, 135 games. They're a top 10 offense in baseball. I know you might not believe it. That's the reality. They've scored the 9th most runs in baseball. They're a top 10 offense in baseball. And in a short sample, can they carry this team to a World Series? I believe they can. 215-592-9494. Where are you at after the Wheeler issue on the weekend, the runs they've scored on Sunday, the runs they scored last night? That was an awesome display of offense from the team. Can this offense now be the thing that carries this baseball team the whole way? 215-592-9494. Do you believe the offense could do it and be the driving force of this team to go win a World Series? All right, let's hear from Bryce Harper last night. who had a big night, and he talked about Zack Wheeler wanting the team to go out there and go win a World Series.
How were you guys able to keep the energy up and perform while this serious situation is going on?
Yeah, I mean, it's something that's hard to put in the back of your mind and not think about, especially when you get the news of it happening and things like that. But obviously, Zach wants us to go out there and play our game and be good and get deep into the playoffs and win a World Series. That's the goal, and he knows he wants us to do that. So obviously, the human element plays a huge role into it, but we got to do the best we can to get out there and just play our game and understand he's in recovery mode and doing well. And like I said, once he gets back in here and is ready to go whenever that is, we're going to be excited to have him.
Well, we all will.
Whenever that is.
Yeah, I mean, he's letting you know there without saying it that I don't think anyone expects him back this season. But if they hit like they did last night and hit on Sunday, they could win any series against any team. And they've really crushed the baseball. And the Nationals won on Sunday. It's like, all right, the Nationals stink. That Mariners team's pretty good, and they have good pitching.
Yeah, because that was one of the biggest things we were talking about. Ranger being on the mound.
Yep.
Coming off of the meltdown that he had, playing against a good team that could rake. And he went out there and he gave you 6 2/3 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs. So that was a pretty decent night. And then the offense came alive. Yes, they can do it. If you're asking me, do you have the personnel that could win a World Series by hitting the baseball? They have that, but they haven't lived up to what Topper likes to say, the back of the baseball cards lately.
Not lately.
In the postseason, I should say.
Yeah, well, they haven't. Last year, certainly they did not. All right, one more from Bryce Harper here. Why the Phillies could do this without Zack Wheeler?
Why do you guys think you can do this without Zack if you don't have Zack? Just do what you want to do.
I mean, our starting staff's been great. I mean, from Sancho to Ranger to Knowles, getting Knowles back is huge for us. Obviously, his turn didn't go the way he wanted it to, but we got a great starting staff. And we believe in them and we trust in them to go out there and take the ball every 5th day. And Taiwan's been throwing the ball great as well as of late, and it's been a lot of fun to watch.
Well, they're getting solid enough pitching, and they have the offense is good as it has to be. Like I know he's trying to be nice there, but Taiwan, they're not winning this because of Taiwan Walker.
He's being nice about Nola.
I know,
for being realistic.
He's being nice about everyone. Well, here's what I heard and what he didn't say. We're going to have to hit the crap out of the baseball the next 2 months to go have a trophy and win and have a parade. That's what they need. And I think they could do it. 215-592-9494. Do you believe the Phillies offense could carry them to a World Series? Kyle, where do you come down? 23 runs since we got the Wheeler news.
Yeah. So when Zack Wheeler went down, I think every Phillies fan asked themselves, or should have been asking themselves, are they going to wave the white flag? Or are they going to keel over? Are they just going to die and give up? Or are they going to go out there and respond like specifically Bryce Harper, Kyle Schwarber, Trey Turner, the guys on the offense, right? We knew the other starting pitchers were going to have to step their game up a little bit. But it was really about whether or not the leaders on this team offensively were going to be able to come out there and do what they just did the last 2 days. And, I mean, that's exactly what they did. It looks like they made a little bit of a statement over the last 2 games, especially Bryce Harper. I mean, Bryce Harper just beating the life out of the baseball. You know what it kind of reminds me of? 2017, Carson Wentz goes down. Nick Foles steps in. They play the Giants. Drops 4 touchdowns on them. And you know what? The other part of this is they're probably going to have stretches still, the Phillies, where they go play the Raiders. And Foles looks like crap. And the Dallas game where they get shut out.
And Foles played a quarter, they didn't score a point.
Yeah.
And we're talking about Sudfeld
and it might be a little bit of a slog for some time.
Yep.
But what it showed me, and what that game showed me in 2017, was that they are capable of stepping up. Nick Foles was capable of putting on a good enough performance where the rest of the team picks it up just a little bit, then that they can go do it. That's sort of what yesterday and the day before reminded me of a little bit, is like they are capable of putting on that kind of performance. So I'm with you. I think push comes to shove, man, they just get hot the right time in October. They're absolutely still a World Series team.
You know what this really comes down to? It's about Bryce. I mean, Schwarber's had a great year the whole year. It's about Bryce. I mean, of all the times in this guy's career here in Philadelphia, he's done a lot, right? He's been a very good performer. He won an MVP. He helped them get to a World Series. This feels like a chance for him to really solidify his legacy. Like if he goes off the next 2 months and has his best 2 months of the season and helps them get to a World Series, win a World Series without Zack Wheeler, that would resonate more than anything else he's ever accomplished. Because this is, like, there's only so much the other guys could do, right? Like, Brandon Marsh isn't going to become Bryce Harper overnight. Like Brandon Marsh could be solid, right? They've got a bunch of guys that could help. And Schwarber's already had a great season. Like we can't even ask for much more than he's done already. Just be yourself. Bryce is the one that has to go off the next couple months. And I think he's certainly, I mean, you saw it last night. I mean, I got to imagine that wrist is feeling pretty good. He's got to do it. And I think he can. 215-592-9494. Do you believe the Phillies offense could carry this team to a World Series? They just might have to.
You know what I was sitting there thinking? Like, when Bryce came back from the wrist injury, and he got off to a slow start, then he had that night where he basically said, I'm one of the best players in baseball.
Yep.
This is one of those moments, and I know there's still a lot of baseball left to be played, and I know this is hard. Like, this task is hard. No question about it. But if anybody's built for it, you would think it would be him. Mm-hmm. Because he, like he said, he is one of the best players in baseball. And this team is going to need him, and they're going to lean on him probably more so than he's ever been leaned on before. But you got the personnel around you to get it done. They've shown you that. The fact that they didn't make any moves and they ran this thing back, which, for us, made us a little upset. All of us a little upset, but they believe in this squad. You got to pay them back. You got to pay back everybody who believed in you guys that, you were the right ones to get the job done. You got to pay them back now. Now it's time to pay them back.
And here, look, I said this yesterday. If Wheeler went out in April, the task would have been much harder, right? Replacing 30-something starts, all that. They don't have to do that. They are in a great position to make the playoffs even without him the rest of the year. They have a pretty big cushion to just get in the playoffs. And then once you get in, they got to win 3 or 4 series. Like, this isn't like they have to play great for 6 months of baseball. They have to get hot for a short amount of time. And I think Kyle said it well. It's not going to be like last night every night. I mean, just like Foles didn't throw 4 touchdowns every game he was in 17. There was a slog after the initial bump. But it's there. I think that's what all of us could have leaned on back in 2017. Like, Foles could do it. He wasn't doing it all the time, but he had the ability to do it. And when I saw the offense last night, those were the best swings I've seen Bryce Harper have in a year. That made me feel like that wrist is feeling good. He turned on those baseballs.